Well. I'm going to say it. For those of you who don't know, Tyler and I, this is the longest we've ever gone without talking, probably in the last 5 years, on the phone with our voices or in person.
True.
We've got a lot to talk about. That being said, have you seen that there's this giant scrub daddy?
What does that mean?
There's a giant scrub daddy, like I would say upwards of 4 feet tall.
And like this is one you can purchase, or it's like
for sale.
That people. Okay,
for
it's
sale.
not in the museum.
Do you want to take a guess of how much it costs?
Well, if it's, I mean, you said it's about 4 feet tall.
I would say so.
Okay, and a normal scrub daddy would be about 4 inches wide in diameter, I would say.
Okay. So
we're gonna go ahead and say there's 3 of those to a foot, and then another 4 should be 12 times the price. We're gonna go $39.99.
$1,000.
All right, so it seems as though they've definitely jacked up the price. I doubt it costs that much.
You can't think it would. And what I will say is, hit it, Hutch.
You know what it is now, boys and girls of the podcast world. Matt and Tyler on the mics. They're gonna stay here until they agree. They're gonna stay here until they agree. Oh, thank you for listening. This show's called Until We Agree. Oh, thank you for listening.
So, welcome back to Until We Agree. Like we said, Tyler and I have not talked for the longest we've gone since pre-COVID times. We kept our conversations very limited before we started recording this episode. He didn't know I was going to talk about the giant scrub daddy. $1,000.
No.
Now, let me put this on to you really quick. How would you treat $1,000 scrub daddy?
How would I treat it?
Yeah, would you cut it up and use it
if I
for the rest of your life, or would you just use it as
it'd be
giant
a display piece?
It'd be a giant scrub daddy.
It'd be a display piece. You wouldn't. If I were to need small scrub daddies, I would get small scrub daddies. I don't see the use of getting a big scrub daddy and then cutting it down, especially when the price is monumental. Sure,
and I think that comes from a place of privilege for you to be able to afford a $1,000 scrub daddy. Some of us would want to.
Okay, but this is just a hypothetical. I'm not buying $1,000 scrub daddy.
So you would use it as like a boogie board than you would over a giant sponge.
That feels like a random use for it. Maybe it's on the wall as a display piece. Like I've been saying, I'm big into art these days. I'll get into that. I was at the Louvre.
Is that the one in Europe?
Yeah, no, it is.
That's crazy. I haven't heard about that because, again, this is the longest we've gone without talking to each other since before you had to wear masks.
And you keep saying that, but we could also start talking if you want.
Well, I've been really wanting to talk about the scrub daddy. I think I texted you 4 or 5 days ago about the scrub daddy and said, just a reminder, we're really leaning into the scrub daddy this episode.
I hear you, but I feel like we have a lot to talk about this episode, and we keep talking about a big scrub daddy for the first 30 minutes.
Okay, what do you want to talk about then?
Well, I don't know. You made the agenda, and you said huge news. Now, please tell me the huge news wasn't that there's a large scrub daddy.
No, big scrub daddy, huge news. I have even huger news for you. You're not going to believe this.
No shot. What is it?
I have it on good authority that Until We Agree, welcome back to Until We Agree with Matt and Tyler. This is Matt from Until We Agree with Tyler from Until We Agree. This is Matt from Until We Agree saying this. I have verified this source. We are, Until We Agree the podcast is the number 112th ranked comedy podcast in the country of Lebanon.
No shot.
Yeah, 112th in the comedy podcast charts in Lebanon. That's us. Can you believe it? Can you believe that? We've made it. This is the big break. We've done it.
I thought you were going to say just the world.
No.
And you said...
And we're getting to the whole world. We're getting to the whole world. But
it's like that game we used to play in middle school where like you would choose a disease and you'd take over. You always take over the little countries first because there's no fight in them. So you take those over and then you spread. So that's good.
And let me make it clear. Let me make it so clear. We're not 112th in Lebanon.
No,
we are 112th on the comedy podcasts in Lebanon.
Right, yes. Which are the most important podcasts. But
sure.
Where did you learn this?
I got an email from someone who it's a company that you can search podcast analytics for different charts. And I'm sure they were trying to market something to us, but they report this to you for free, and you can verify all these sources. So now I'm going to deep dive into every other country that we have analytics in. By the way,
yeah.
I didn't even put this on the agenda. We haven't even talked about this because, again, we haven't talked about the giant scrub daddy or about each other.
Well, real quick,
in 2 weeks.
I have a message to the Lebanese.
Okay.
First and foremost, happy belated Pride Month. Secondly, if you're Lebanese, spread the word out there. We can get this thing into the top 100 by next week. I think if you guys really spread the word, I think it's needed.
If you're listening and you currently live in Lebanon and you are listening to this podcast, we will send you a sticker that you can put somewhere in the country for us.
And it's such an expensive sticker. Yeah. Not that we had it made, but it's the fact that we would be shipping it across the country in such a small package.
Call it the world. For us. Call it the world.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Not even one country. This is multiple countries.
No.
This is multiple countries. Speaking of multiple countries, they only sell the Scrub Daddy, the giant one, in the United States.
Okay.
But speaking of other countries again, we have a new country.
Yep, I saw this.
And I should have done more research on this country because I feel like I'm about to be tested on something. Because
say hello.
This is a very, very small country. I don't even know where it is.
You don't know? Okay.
The Cayman Islands. We have officially unlocked the Cayman Islands. I'm looking up on the map right now. It is... Oh, I did do research on the Cayman Islands. I take it back. I have been told that this is likely someone who is either on the run from the federal government or evading taxes in some sort sense of the word.
That sounds right.
The Cayman Islands is apparently a big anti-federal nation that billionaires and criminals use to wire money through.
Well, hello to the billionaires and criminals. Welcome aboard.
Do you want me to do the hello?
Please do.
Hello there. Welcome to Until We Agree.
That's what people from the Cayman Islands sound
yeah,
like?
They're rich and classy, bro.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I didn't catch that at first, but now that you're saying it, I totally have catched it.
Thanks for listening.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's bonus item. Now let's get into. We've talked about the giant scrub daddy, which is the biggest topic of the day. Let's talk about the second biggest thing. You've been in Europe for what, 8 or 9 or 10 days? Just got back yesterday?
A little over a week, yeah.
Sure.
So I guess we can just start at the beginning.
I love when movies and TV shows do that, when they start at the beginning.
So I'm back in Texas. Now, to get to Europe, what do you think I had to do?
Plane or boat?
Yeah, and I chose plane.
Sure.
Now, we flew to Chicago. So we went with a friend of ours.
Okay.
Shout out Annie.
How come your girlfriend got to bring a friend and you couldn't bring a friend who wanted to go to Europe?
I did invite you, but you couldn't go. It was short.
You invited me 8 hours before the flight.
Sure, but the flights were cheap at the time, and we used points. So
fine.
Here's the thing: we get to Chicago. Well, first of all, we missed our flight, right? So
why wouldn't you?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? So we're on the way, or no, I do a half day for work so I can get to this flight.
Oh, it's your fault. You missed the flight on your own.
No.
Okay.
And so we're taking Southwest. And so they said, Southwest says this, by the way. They said, hey, guys, your flight's delayed by 3 hours. So we say, okay, I guess we don't need to go to the airport right now. And then right as we're about to leave for the airport, they said, oh, good news, your flight got pushed up a little bit. It wasn't, anything crazy. We were still going to make it. Uh-huh. And then as soon as we get in the car, they said, oh, by the way, your flight's leaving in 20 minutes. And
that's
the traffic was really bad.
There's just no way.
And so, yeah, we did miss that flight. And when we got to the airport, the person at the desk was like, yeah, that was like a phantom message that went out to some people when they've missed the flight. But the flight was never delayed.
Well, here's the thing. System. My fiance, that happened to her with Southwest like 3 or 4 months ago. So how phantom are we talking here? They do that all the time. Luckily, we kept an eye on it and she made it in time. But this is not, you're not.
I remember that.
You're not isolated in this. This is
But
Southwest.
it's just crazy. Like,
you have some explaining to do.
Yeah, they do because, and we'll switch to United here in a second. But
please do.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because, I mean, I know that you're supposed to kind of get to the airport anyways, but they said that the flight was never delayed, but people got messages saying it was. Anyways,
Crazy.
So boom, we get on the next flight out. No big deal. We just get there a little bit later. We're in Chicago. Spend the night in Chicago. We get to the airport to go to Newark, right? We're going to go to Newark and then take a Newark to Geneva, Switzerland.
Sure.
So we get to Newark. No real problem other than the flight got delayed. And it wasn't a problem, but what we did caused a bunch of problems because the flight got delayed and we already had a pretty tight layover.
You said bomb in an airport, didn't you?
Okay, well, I'll get to that.
Okay.
Because
how are you going to get to that?
No, and I will get to that. Because what happened was, so now we're talking United.
Okay.
They delayed our flight, and it was delayed like an hour. And so United had already booked our layover pretty short,
and
so we weren't sure if we were going to make it.
We're talking United Airlines here.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we weren't sure if we were going to make it, right?
You're just using United for slang.
Yes.
To save time. Respect.
Which we have now done. So we weren't sure if we were going to make it. And so we call, and we get on another flight that's a little bit later out of that airport, and we're like, okay, this is fine. But then, the person on the phone originally told us that it was direct out of Chicago because it's before we left for Newark. But then they were like, no, this is still a Newark layover, and you just have a little bit longer time. And so we were like, well, if we're going to take this flight anyways, we'd rather see if we make the original flight. So they switched us back, and we thought all was fine. So we get on our Newark flight, we go to Newark, and luckily they are holding the plane for us because there was like 25 people on that flight who needed to get to that plane. And so we say, great, we'll just walk on over there.
Nice.
And that's what we did. Bad news, when they switched us on to another flight and then off, we lost all of our seats. We had one person, Annie, who was going to be upgraded into like the premier whatever, not quite first class, but the one below that. And they just completely deleted her ticket. They were like, yeah, she's not even on this flight now.
And you told me that she had to sit in the lavatory the entire flight.
No.
Did I just make that up?
But what was happening here, and by the way, I forgot to get to the bomb part, because I did offer to my group to threaten the airport.
Let's call it a terrorist threat.
Yeah, well, just so we could make our flight, to cause delays. Okay. It wasn't like nothing was going to come out of it. It was just the implication. Anyways, so we might have to cut that because I don't know if that might get me on a no-fly list.
We'll see.
Anyways, yeah, these are all jokes. If this isn't cut, these are all jokes. We're joking. Anyways, we get to the airport. We get to the gate to the Newark to Geneva flight, right? They don't even look at my passport. They just say, yeah, go ahead and gate check your bag. Because they were like so just angry, not angry, but they were just frustrated because of the late flight, and they were trying to get people on the plane. Didn't even look at my passport.
Sure.
And then Annie's standing there, and they're like, yeah, she's not on this flight, and we were like, yes, she is. And then the manager of the gate comes over and was like, what's going on? And the person that's kind of manning the desk is like, somebody took her off this flight. And the manager goes, who did that? And then the person goes, one of us. And so we're assuming it was her. And so
one of us.
Yeah, one of us. So yeah, you.
That's crazy.
So finally, they let her on the flight. She did get sent back to economy when she was supposed to have a nice seat. We got an exit row, so we had like really nice legroom and everything. That's great.
Keep bragging. That's nice.
No, it was sick. But we had booked one, like we were the front row, so we had legroom anyways, and we thought we lost that, but we got it. Anyways, probably even better because for whatever reason, the exit rows had like something to rest your feet on underneath the seat. Anyways. Wow.
Hey, quick pause.
Yeah.
I'm loving this story.
We're not even to Europe yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Can you do the next like 30 seconds in a funny voice to keep me engaged?
No, but
okay.
We're done with the plane stuff because, we get to Geneva. It's fine. We sleep like the whole day once we get there because we get there at like 6 a.m, but we can't sleep on the plane. Geneva, let me tell you, there's not much to do there.
Just conventions,
the main
right?
Draw, right. And the main draw is like some big fountain. And it was turned off for maintenance.
One more quick pause. Do you get the Geneva Convention joke?
No, I did. I've talked about the Geneva Convention amongst my friends.
You're just gonna brush
before.
by it though, okay?
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
You've talked about the Geneva Convention with your friends before.
Just amongst them, yeah.
Sure.
And so, yeah, as you do. And so, yeah, we get there. It was fun though. They had some Christmas markets. We went around. Geneva's cool. So we take a train to Paris. By the way, at this point, nobody's looked at my passport once.
What? Wait, how'd you get out of the airport in Europe?
Oh, I do take that back. In Switzerland, they did stamp my passport.
That's okay. That
was the first time they did it.
That's an innocent lie. So
yeah,
you're fine.
That was the first time they did it.
Okay.
I forgot about that. But again, I guess it's because of the EU. I guess you don't have to show passports. We literally we just got on this train. You didn't have to show any ticket or anything until you were on the train.
Mm-hmm.
If you could weasel your way around the cabin, you could definitely get from Switzerland to Paris for free.
Bro,
but yeah,
here's the thing,
Paris,
bro. I think people do that all the time.
Probably.
I don't think that's not a petty crime that you've come up with. I think that's a well-known thing.
Yeah, well, I didn't. We had tickets, but we get to Paris, right? Paris is cool. You can see the Eiffel Tower. It's raining. My shoes are wet. My feet are wet. But that's fine.
It was raining.
Everybody talks about Paris people being mean. We only had one mean guy. His name was Henry, I assume, because his restaurant was called Henry's. And
do you not think it may have been Henri? I think they do the soft H over there.
Sure, but what I will say about him is he was so confused because what the ordering situation we'd been doing for food this whole trip was I would get my own meal typically, and then they would share a meal, and he didn't get this at all. He was like, okay, there's 3 people, and you've ordered 2 entrees. What else do you want? And he kept looking at me. And I was like, no, that one's for me and one's for them.
That's it.
And then he just didn't like it. He didn't like it at all.
We're done ordering, but he didn't like it at all. So we did order 3 desserts to kind of make up for that. Sure.
Anyways, so do you have any questions about Paris? Because we saw Notre Dame, we saw the Eiffel Tower, we saw the Louvre, I saw the Mona Lisa, the Venus de Milo.
Have you met a British person yet? I think is my only
not at this point.
pending
Not
question.
At this point.
Okay.
Not at this point. Because that's next. And the only thing I have to add, throughout this whole trip, I did read an entire book.
What book was it?
The Whisper Man.
Wow. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was like 300 something pages. So whatever.
Nice, man.
It's not a big deal.
That's really cool. Did you saw the Mona Lisa you said?
Yeah, I did.
I hear it's just a piece of paper.
Cannot confirm nor deny. It was very far away from me.
It's just like a small piece of paper, though, is it not? It's not like anything grand.
It's not that small. It's not grand, but it's not that small. Like people do make it seem like it's an 8x11, printed out from Walgreens.
It's the only paper I know. Small. Okay.
But yeah, it was really cool.
So,
okay.
have we passed the big flower yet? I've heard great things about this big flower.
No, because that is in London.
Okay.
So now.
All right.
This part of the trip's, really fun, but what everybody's been waiting for, we get to London. Now, you would not believe the way people speak out there. Because it doesn't, we were containing laughter, walking down sidewalks, because people would pass us. One girl was like, I swear on me mum's life. And, we were just like, what could she be talking about? But anyways, yeah, so
and it's
walking.
What's crazy is it's almost English. They're almost speaking the same language as real people.
Yeah, no. I can understand the words. It's just why are they saying them?
Why are they saying it
that?
like that? Exactly. Okay.
And so we get there. First day, we go see the Kensington Palace, right? And we walk through Hyde Park to go to the Buckingham Palace. It's a great place.
Okay. Did you see the Queen? Now, I've heard she's not making appearances right now.
Now this is where we get into the flower thing.
Okay.
Because Annie, who had been there 2 years prior, which I don't know if you've heard, but 2 years prior, the Queen passed. Rest in peace, Queenie.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
And so they apparently had Buckingham Palace all blocked off because she was there a week or so after the incident. No, she has no alibi.
I was about to say that's a good alibi to be there a week later.
She has no alibi. I checked.
Sure.
Yeah, nothing.
Hmm.
Anyways, So they had all blocked off, and there were like flowers just down the street everywhere, just flowers everywhere. And all I could think about is who has more motive than flower shops across London to have the Queen die?
Big Flower. It's not
Big Flower.
You're talking about Big Flower who killed off the Queen, not one big flower with a bunch of big petals. You're talking about Big Flower.
The industry, the industrial
Big
complex
Flower.
that comes with the flowers. Yes.
Big Flower. Okay.
And so not only that, but how many assassinations have they arranged? How many deaths have they
wow.
Have they been responsible for?
Big
Flower, I think, is a global epidemic. What if humans don't die, but Big Flower
just kills them off when they're ready to make a quick buck?
Yeah.
No way. Can you imagine? I bet. Yeah, and then like the high profiles, you're getting flowers to and fro, just on
That's what I'm saying.
Every corner.
That's why they let us weirdos. I don't know why I called us weirdos, but us normal people.
You're the normal for sure.
Yeah, live so long. That's why the 27 Club exists, because all the famous people get the most flowers, and then Big Flower cashes in.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Are you telling me Big Flower is the one who killed off Kurt Cobain?
As far as I'm aware,
there's no other.
I've seen no evidence to deny it.
Yeah. Oh, it was Biggie Smalls who killed Tupac.
No.
Diddy was involved in it. Maybe if Diddy owned 1-800-Flowers, you know?
Yeah, did he own 1-800-Flowers? He did.
Shoot, man. Wow. I love that theory. I thought Big Flower, you just like saw a giant flower, but no, you're like digging into the depths of society right now and bringing truth to light.
Yeah, and if something happens to us after this episode, 1, it was Big Flower. 2, do not buy flowers,
or even the white powder kind either, because we're not quite sure where if they're not connected or not. Because why would they have the same name?
What does that mean?
Like, like flour like you bake with. Do you think maybe that's like about like this,
that
like
Big Flower?
It's like Mattress Firm. How everyone thinks that they're like a front for like money laundering. It's the same thing where it's like, is Big Flower like the flower petal salesman? Are they the ones who are actually behind it, or is there a greater conglomerate who sells the flour powder for cooking? Bro? May I further your hypothesis on this? Your theory?
Please.
What is something that everyone does every single day? Eat.
Oh my goodness. And you know what's in a lot of food?
What's in a lot of food? Flour.
They're
poisoning the flour and killing the Queen of England.
To sell
flower petals.
As in the plant.
And they're making money off the powder anyways.
This isn't good.
We gotta tear this down.
Everyone, audience, call to action. If you know anything about Big Flower or Big Flower, you need to put it in the Spotify comments, which you can now do right under the podcast episode.
Yeah, and if you do leave your comment and then you start to notice that people are trailing you when you're driving home from work or from school each day, we're meeting in the capital of Lebanon in Times Square. That's our safe house. Run away
get
to
Lebanon.
Lebanon.
You say the capital of Lebanon in Times Square?
Like the Times Square of Lebanon, like the center of town in Lebanon.
Okay,
and that's where we're gonna
equivalent.
Meet.
Right? Yes.
Wherever that is, wherever like City Hall is, we're meeting outside of City Hall of the capital of Lebanon for safety. That's where we're gonna meet because it's about to get dirty, messy, gross. But someone has to do it, and it's time that Until We Agree, the podcast that keeps going until we agree, comes together for once and says enough is enough.
We're standing up to Big Flower.
We're standing up to Big Flower.
They killed the Queen. They killed the Queen not. They killed the Queen. And we're all out of flower petals. I mean, you know what that means?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Do you want to explain it to anyone who doesn't get that?
So, when you pull the flower petals, he loves me not, that whole thing.
Uh-huh.
But in this instance, it was for Big Flower killing the Queen, and we did run out of petals on they did kill the Queen.
Right.
And what I will notice is, or what I did notice, is the lack of flowers and the old people that were or are in the royal family. So I'm sensing something soon.
Yeah, there's a storm coming for sure.
Something's coming.
Yeah. You can just feel, I bet you could feel it in the air when you were over there too. Like, it's always kind of rainy, but like maybe it's getting a little bit rainier. Speaking of Europe, thank you for bringing to light this. You would consider yourself more knowledgeable in Europe than you've been before after this trip, correct?
I sure hope so. Yeah.
Well, I have good news for you then. Oh.
When you're talking Europe, are you saying Europe and the UK now that Brexit?
Well, here's the thing about that. I would almost argue that the UK is still in Europe. They're just not in the European Union.
Right.
And I could explain that to you in further detail because you
are
not knowledgeable on that. So
and after I said it, I realized that was the case. However, I was just kind of lofting one up for you to hit a home run.
Sure. So. And I'm trotting the bases right now, and I'm giving you a chance to do the exact same thing because I have 10 European trivia questions, and as always on Until We Agree, you have to get 8 right to be considered an expert in your field.
Okay, let's do it.
You're fresh off the boat or the plane in this instance, which was an interesting choice, and we're gonna get through it. I think you can get all these right. They're a little bit tricky, some, but I think they also all have obvious answers. So, first question. We're gonna start. The first couple are gonna be history questions.
Easy.
Which historical empire fought in World War I?
Is this a multiple choice, or are we just like?
No. No. There's only one answer, and I think you know it because you went to school.
Which historical empire?
Right. There was an empire like that was hanging around even into the 1900s that fought in World War I.
Am I dumb?
It's trending that way for sure.
Bro, it just...
Not the Roman Empire. Not the Mongolian Empire.
No. Okay. Is the Ottomans?
There you go. 1 for 1.
Okay. I just, like, in my head, I was like, he's not just, like, thinking of some random country.
Right.
But
Call it an empire.
I am surprised to remember that the Ottoman Empire was around that long.
They were just lingering like the cranberries. All right. Next, we got another World War I question.
Okay. I know nothing about World War I. I don't know why you keep... Okay, go ahead.
This is the last World War I question.
Okay.
What was the first country invaded in World War I?
Okay, so Poland was 2. We know that.
Well, how about I ask you the third question first?
Okay.
What was the first country invaded in World War II?
That was Poland.
Okay, you're 2 for 2. Now, third question.
So,
are you ready?
Right.
What was the first country invaded in World War I?
Right. So, this one, if you have to go back to Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Mm-hmm.
And where was he the captain of? Austria. So that's going to be my guess, is Austria.
Everyone knows your first guess is going to be wrong every time. It was actually neutral Belgium. I just learned this today too. I didn't know that. Didn't know it. Germans invaded Belgium and the UK was not super steezed on that.
Dude,
and then
these Germans, man.
Yeah, declared war. Man, they are up to no good, especially back in the day. All right. That was the hardest question. I think you have a chance to get the rest of them. So you're still in it. You still have one more miss. All right. Which country flag is a square shape?
And it's in Europe?
Yes, these are all European questions, and there's only one that is a country in Europe that's not a rectangular flag.
Will you cut this out while I think?
Yes, of course.
I don't know this one.
Do you want a hint?
Yes.
It's in Europe.
West or east?
Somewhere between.
Dead middle.
It's on the directional spectrum for sure.
Bro, this is embarrassing.
It is embarrassing
because I just remembered what it was.
What is it?
Because I was there.
I haven't given you a hint yet, so you're fine. Take a guess.
It's Switzerland.
There you go. That's fine. The audience has no idea. It took you 3 minutes to think of the country you were just in.
Right, but I didn't. To be fair, I didn't see that many flags.
And that's That's totally fair, and I respect that, and that's fine. I'm going to allow that. All right. Here we go. Next question. That was a good one. That was another hard one. What is the smallest country in terms of land area in Europe?
This feels like a trick question.
The answer is the answer. I will say that.
Yeah, the answer is the answer. I'm just going to go out on a limb, say northern, no, and say, is it, is it east or west?
It's somewhere in between.
But you can't keep saying that. Is it Switzerland?
Do you say Switzerland?
I don't know.
Let me put you on to the answer, if I can. Vatican City.
Yeah. Oh, that doesn't count.
How does it not count? It's a country.
Technically, it's not.
Technically, it is. What do you mean it's not? It is.
It's a city-state.
No, it's an enclave country.
I don't like that. And I did.
It still wouldn't be Switzerland if you got rid of that. Here's the thing. Switzerland's pretty big.
It's not that big.
All right. You can't afford any more misses. And the best part is as I've given you this question before, I just want to be sure you get it right. And it would be crazy if you missed it again. What is the most populated European city? And again, you've had this question before. And you got it wrong before.
What? Do you remember what my first answer was before?
I do, but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Can you just say it?
I'll tell you it's not Bratislava, Slovakia.
Why don't I remember this?
You did answer this question before.
I know I said London first, I think.
There's a chance you did.
And that would be incorrect.
Okay.
Because the most populated city in Europe.
You're going to get this wrong again.
Why do you say that?
Because you're not even in the right ballpark, I can tell.
Why do you say that?
Switch ballparks. I'm giving you a hint, which is just to switch ballparks. Wherever you're in right now, take a pivot. Whatever you're thinking right now is wrong. I'm positive whatever you're thinking right now is wrong.
Are you sure? Because I think I have it right.
Okay, if you want to trust your gut over my gut, give it a go.
Okay, can I tell you what I'm going to say? What I was going to say?
Yeah, you can tell me this is not your final answer. And if I react, it's on me.
I'm pretty sure I remember that I forgot that Russia was in, and so it would be Moscow. But then and so I want to lock that in, but now you're making me think I should switch.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I'll give you one more chance for it to not be your final answer.
Is it not Moscow?
It's Moscow. Great job.
Okay.
Wow. I really did not think you were going to pull that one. All right, here we go. Name 3 countries that border Italy.
Easy. The Vatican City.
Nice one.
2. I don't remember. Switzerland? Can I just throw out countries or?
If you miss one, it's over.
Oh, what?
What do you mean? That's how answering questions work. If you get it wrong, you get it wrong.
That's not cool. But Austria.
Okay, that's 2. Did you say Switzerland?
Yeah, I guess.
You should, because that's correct. Do you want to take a guess? There's what?
One more?
It's
Germany.
There's actually 3 more.
There's Germany?
Germany is not one of them. France,
okay.
Slovenia, and your favorite, San Marino.
Oh.
All countries that touch Italy. All right. You've got 3 questions left. I'm going to give you the easiest one first, just so we can make it more interesting when we get to the final question.
Okay.
What countries make up the United Kingdom? There's 4.
Oh, okay. England.
Okay.
Scotland.
Okay.
Ireland. Does that count?
Do you
Northern Ireland, you know?
Yeah, like Northern Ireland, okay.
and Wales.
Okay, I'm gonna allow it, even though we sat in silence as you said Ireland for 30 seconds.
Yeah, but of course you like.
Well, of course I did.
Between the two, it's gonna be Northern because that's the one that's in there.
Of course. Right.
And that's where Rory's from as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, I don't know which one of these is harder. I'm gonna give you this one next. Which European city has the most annual tourists?
Ooh. That one's tough. I would.
Do you want to hear both of the last two questions and you can guess them in order?
Yes.
Okay. This is a true or false.
Oh.
Malta and Cyprus are both independent island nations.
True.
He's got it. You have to tell me to win. It all comes down to one city in Europe. Which European city has the most annual tourists?
Well, I believe I was just there.
Okay, you were in the top 2 countries in most annual tourists.
I'm guessing Geneva was not one of them.
I will tell you right now, it was not Geneva, Switzerland. It is down to London or Paris.
So I see London.
To win Europe. Okay.
I see France. And we watched Ratatouille in Paris.
Okay.
So that should factor in.
Yeah. And you know what they say about Until We Agree in Ratatouille?
What do they say?
That somehow Matt from Until We Agree looks like both the rat and the guy
at the same time.
From Ratatouille at the same time. Okay.
Paris.
He did it. He's an official European.
Let's go.
He's revoked his citizenship. He is officially a member of the EU. Wow. Inspirational. Just like fellow European Lionel Messi. That was incredible.
He is Argentinian.
Close enough. Wow. Okay.
I did forget to tell you something, though, about the trip.
Oh, good. We're going back to it.
I took a climbing class. Not class, but a lesson with a famous guy. Louis Parkinson's his name. He's a professional climber.
Oh, you finally got to meet him.
Yeah, it was really. He told me that he would see me in 2028 for the Olympics because he was impressed with my progress since I started in March.
Did he mean it, or was he just like trying to sell you more lessons?
No, because I'm. Well, I would say I'm out of the country, so there's no more lessons he could tell me. Now,
sure.
I mean, he was joking, but he did then ask me how old I was and do the math and say, actually, that could work. So. Who knows? Because he did think that I could climb well above what I'm climbing at now, but with more practice.
So why don't you just climb better now? Is the thing.
I'm gonna try.
I don't know what tools you're missing.
When I get in the Olympics, I'll shout out the podcast.
That'd be so sick. Can we like put like some merch on your bib or something? That'd be so cool.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
That'd be so nice. All right, well I'm rooting for you then. That would be so cool. All right, it's time for Q&A. I'm glad you had a great trip. I'm glad you guys made it back safely and on a plane with the tickets that you purchased, both there and back, which is cool. So now it's time for Q&A. Okay. And Q&A, if you want to be involved in Q&A, leave us a question literally anywhere you see the orange logo, the Until We Agree logo. We'll find it and we'll put it in the podcast, and you can get shouted out. Follow us on Instagram at Until We Agree. Follow us on TikTok at Until We Agree. That's so simple. It's the exact same ad. Who thinks of that? Not us, but we did. Anyways, YouTube too. We got a YouTube question today, which was a first for the Q&A section. So first of all, Ronnie commented on Spotify, which you can also do and leave Q&A questions. He says, "I haven't seen it," which I assume has to do with when we asked him if he had seen How I Met Your Father after he asked us if we've seen How I Met Your Father. And
all right, let's just carry on this conversation with Ronnie on Spotify.
Yeah. Ronnie, let us know why you don't think any of us watched How I Met Your Father. What were we thinking? Why? And do you think maybe in the future we should? Leave us a comment down there. And if you also aren't Ronnie, leave a comment as well. See what you have to say. But Ronnie then goes to YouTube, which is so funny. And he says, "What the heck? I can only comment once on Spotify? ? And the answer is, unfortunately, yes. You can only comment
so Ronnie's
once
the
on
martyr.
Spotify.
Ronnie's the martyr. He took a hit for everybody. You can only comment once, so make it good.
Yeah, make it really good on Spotify because you're going to get on full display for people in the Cayman Islands all the way to Lebanon. In every other corner of the globe. We're touching every continent.
You might as well be
right
on
now.
Might Square in Lebanon.
You might as well. Might as well be. And if you follow us on Instagram and we get to 10,000 followers on there or TikTok or Spotify, whichever we get to first, we're going to Times Square in New York City. Ever heard of it?
And dare I say, 20,000, 25,000 even, we might just make a trip to Lebanon.
At 25,000 followers, we're going to Lebanon. I love that. That's what's happening next. So give us a follow. Give us 5 stars on Apple or Spotify or wherever you find this podcast because that boosts engagement, which leads to more followers, which leads to us buying plane tickets to Lebanon and Times Square, New York. Double Times Square. So yeah, to answer your question, Ronnie, you can only comment once on Spotify, but there's so many other places to comment. Find us on TikTok. I have a feeling TikTok is going to be the place we hit 10,000 followers first because we crush on TikTok.
We crush views, but people just don't. People don't follow.
That's the
thing.
thing.
People to follow.
That's the thing
man.
is we're going to keep building it. But if you are listening right now, you don't follow us on TikTok, listen, and that's going to send us to the sky. Because once people see that we're getting followers on TikTok, we're already getting the views, and they say, oh, now it's cool to follow until we agree on TikTok. And we're going to do that too. So
yep,
that's sick. Leave us Q&A questions. We have one more question. Kim says, not Tyler having to remind Matt who his own favorite rats are. And yep. I will wear that. I got too excited thinking about all the rats. I didn't first shout out the rats who have got us to this point. Faithful listeners, faithful commenters, faithful makers of our theme song, the original theme song, and the customized "Stay Here Until We Agree" theme song that we have all come to know and love. Besides one person who says he skips it every single time, which I don't know what you're thinking. You're wrong about that one.
Who says that?
Bum, just a big old bum.
Tell me off air who skips that.
Yeah, I will. Hutch,
we love
Hutch.
I'll talk with Big Flower about them.
Yeah, we'll get Big Flower on the case. But yeah, Kim's a great rat. Hutch is a great rat. And if you're listening right now, you're a great rat too, and we appreciate it. Tyler, I think we agreed long ago on this episode that Big Flower is at the root of all evil.
Wait,
in this
are you wrapping
world.
up?
I am giving you the chance to wrap it up for us.
I was just gonna ask if you had anything to say. Hold on a second. One second. I just muted Matt. All right. Let me tell him that I'm talking to the audience. I'm talking to the audience right now. Okay. So I just muted Matt. So this episode comes out on a day that would be the anniversary of the day I was born, right? And Matt knows that, but he hasn't said anything on this episode, which is confusing me. So we're going to see if he remembers. All right, what's up, Matt?
Hey, man, welcome back.
You got anything to say, man?
You know what? I think that's it.
The audience knows.
One last shout out. Shout out Crohn's disease. We're gonna find a cure one of these days.
Nah, that wasn't what I was talking to the audience
what
about.
I meant to say is shout out Scrub Daddy for making that big Scrub Daddy.
Huh. Interesting.
This sucks.
No, it's just your best man and all. It's just interesting.
It's just your best man. What do you mean?
No. I mean, it's cool.
Oh, hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Are you upset that I didn't say you were a great rat?
No.
Do you want to talk about it?
We can talk about something. I don't think you know what you're feeling bad about right now.
That I didn't say you were a great rat?
That's not it,
You're
bro.
the best rat.
That's not it.
What do you mean? You muted me. I don't know what you told me.
You want me to help you out?
Please.
Because this episode's getting pretty long. What day does this episode come out?
Shut up! No! Oh, dude. I thought I forgot your birthday on the recording. I was like, there's no way. I have a calendar note for it. I would have seen it.
123 days after your birthday.
You've
been counting down the days, and you will not.
Don't
you will
do
not get
that.
Away from this.
Don't do that to me. Today's December 2nd. I didn't miss your birthday.
But the episode doesn't release into the world until a certain day.
I guess you're right. And I didn't think about that. I guess I'm not in that. You're right. Hey, man.
What, man?
I just want to wish you the happiest of 21st birthdays. And
It's not my birthday. My birthday's tomorrow, so I don't really know why you would.
Shut up.
This show's called Until We Agree. Oh, thank you for listening.
I'm old and decrepit.